lose at the end of the day, but I don't mind it. I have a good time. We had a great time out there the other day.
What about that one horse that's the unbeatable? One
Burgess Queen.
Oh, yes. My goodness.
All right.
That horse, it's won 6 in a row now.
Is that
and
right?
she was running against much older horses this last, I think, Saturday when we went there. She just skated in it. It's beautiful.
And because her jockey always carries a gun.
Is that,
Yeah.
Now, this is what's going to happen if you don't win, baby.
It's going to be canned food.
Hey, I noticed on one of your rings on your finger, Davy, is a horseshoe with diamonds and.
He was married to a horse many years ago. Yes. We don't talk about that part of his life.
Yeah, I love horses. I was actually apprentice jockey when I first left school when I was 15 in England, in Newmarket. And I ride quite often now, and whenever we can. Hopefully we'll be able to ride while we're here, too.
Horses.
To ride a little bit?
That would be nice.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I've never had a ride on a horse here in Perth. The last time I rode a horse was in Nevada, in Vegas.
Oh, really?
We went out on the desert there, which was wonderful. Got a sore bum and a sore back, but otherwise it was great.
We're going to Reno, Nevada. We open, I think, on about the 28th of June.
This is your new group.
Well, this is just Mickey and I, and we have a band that backs us up, and Mickey's sister Coco sings with us.
Yes.
And we don't really go as a group. It's like an act. We have like a review.
Isn't it I thought it was going to be DeLenz, Jones, Boyce and Hart?
Well, that was a show we were doing about 6-8 months ago with Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. And we may work with them again in the future. Right now, Tommy's in London writing. He had a hit record there as a writer, so he's over there following that up. And Bobby Hart's doing a soundtrack to a movie. So David and I are going out now as Davy Jones and Micky Dolenz.
Right.
And as kind of a review.
See, Tommy and Bobby, they not only, they write things, movie scores, they've written lots of hit records for different people.
Could you name a couple of the records for the people who are listening that they know?
One that I can think of is...
I'm just trying to think of a couple of myself.
Keep on Singing, you know the Helen Reddy hit?
Oh, yes.
Bobby Hart wrote that.
Yeah.
He also wrote Hurt So Bad, Bad Man Jose. There's a few other things they wrote.
And he wrote, they both wrote a couple of your songs, too.
Yeah,
quite a few.
The early hits, yeah.
The Monkeys theme, they wrote that.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of good writers, you know, when we did the Monkeys. People like Carl King and Neil Sedaka, Neil Diamond, Harry Nielsen, Paul Williams.
Well,
Really a whole troop of
Ed Grobmeyer,
and
Fred Forbitz.
but so you haven't
Those
heard
great
of those
songwriters
two
of years past. Carl Budmeyer. Remember him?
Carl, oh, yes, he was, he had around about 400 odd hits.
Oh, he must have had 400 or 500 hits.
And there was another guy by the name of Fred Schwartz.
Fred Schwartz.
Yeah.
You remember Fred?
Very good. Very nice Jewish man.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good old
Jewish
Fred.
But
Whatever happened to this?
I don't know. It's amazing. They just disappear. It's 13 minutes to 11 on the Lionel York Show on 6 p.m. We're talking to Davy Jones and also Micky Dolenz of the Monkeys. The Monkeys only lasted 2 years. Or would it be a little bit longer than that?
As a TV show?
Well, the TV show. And how long did you last as a group?
Well, about 3, I guess, altogether. And then...
Any particular reason why it all folded for you? Because it was very successful. Your television show was successful. The Monkeys were successful. And all of a sudden...
There was a variety of reasons. One of them being we were...
my eye like
Sorry, Davey.
Right in my eye.
There was a number of reasons. We were wiped out. You know, it's very exhausting to not only have to do a television show, but be a regular rock and roll group and touring in an act. And at that time, nobody really knew how to do it. It was the first time that had happened. So it exhausted us. Second of all, we were very young and spoiled and thought that we could just go on in our own individual directions and be just as successful, which was a little naive. And also, Mike and Peter, who were primarily musicians, weren't really being satisfied as artists. They'd been told that they would be able to express themselves musically and write the songs, and in fact they were not. And so they were a little frustrated as musicians and artists.
Yeah.
And the combination of those three things is what I think eventually broke up the group as a whole. We're planning on getting back together and recording an album, as a matter of fact.
Is that right?
Yeah, Mike and Peter and David.
What's Michael and Michael Nesmith and Peter talk doing now?
Mike Nesmith is living in Carmel, and he has a little record company.
California.
It's in California. He has a record company. He records and prints and sells his own records.
Yes.
And does a lot of writing. He had an album out and a fairly big hit just recently called Rio.
Right, he had a hit in 1970, which was called Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne did very well.
Yeah.
Peter's living in Venice, California, and he writes music.
Mm-hmm.
And we just met with them all, and, as a matter of fact. And
So it looks as if something could be coming up
we
soon.
just might, yeah. We
Beautiful.
Just might.
We're talking to Micky Dolenz and Davy Jones of the Monkees. We'll be back with them after these commercials.
Well, at the time, the Monkees was being filmed, and we were recording. Screen Gems Columbia Music had a stable of writers who included Neil Sedaka and Carole King and an unknown named Neil Diamond.
And also Seattle Slew was one of them.
Another one of
in
them.
the stable.
Yeah.
Who were writing a lot of tunes at the time for different artists. They hadn't had any records of their own at the time, I guess except Neil Sedaka. And I remember meeting Carole and Jerry, who she was writing with at the time. And we were all very impressed by the songs that they wrote. And at one point we wanted to kind of contemporize our image a little bit. We were getting a lot of criticism that the Monkees' music was very bubblegumish.
Yes.
So we decided to make it progressive bubblegum, if nothing else. And Carole King came up with this tune called Pleasant Valley Sunday, which was a expose of the middle-class mores of the American public and the suburban sloth, as they say.
Yes.
So this is it, Pleasant Valley Sunday.
All right, we'll play it after these commercials.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I had a great time doing the appeal-a-thon, needless to say. It was an awful lot of fun, and the reaction, as you all know, was tremendous. And now that it's all over, it is very important that all of you who called up and gave your donation do follow through and bring your money to the ANZ Bank, or I suppose to the Appeal-a-thon office or to Channel 9, and make sure that the people that have been so excited by the prospect of your donation and the brightening of their future, meaning all of those unfortunate people who need the money, make sure that they do have their dreams realized, and that this money does get into the right hands as soon as possible.
Thanks, Micky. Pleasant Valley Sunday. Carole King and Jerry Goffin song. On the Lionel York Show. Thanks for listening.
Rock group down the street is trying hard to learn this.
That's the Monkees. We'll be back with Micky and Davy after the news. I've got news coming up in...
Good morning. Just gives him that spark of energy, you know.
That particular version or the other one?
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's the one we play in the States.
Oh, is it?
And also, I like to listen to the Roots theme, too, which you were talking earlier, too. That
With Bert Newton here in Melbourne.
Which is another rocker, you know, and it just... it gives you that burst of energy,
Doesn't it?
you know. It's better than a cup of coffee. You know?
I love music. I'm so...
Can't live without music.
Micky, what sort of music do you dig yourself?
I like dentist office music.
I'm sorry?
Dentist office music.
Dentist?
Office music.
Oh.
Kind of music they play in dentist office.
Yeah, the nice laid-back type, middle of the road.
Right, you know, supermarket music. Is
Yeah.
always good.
Music to drill to.
No, I like, I like Stevie Wonder. I don't like a particular kind of music. I like Stevie Wonder, and I like Paul Williams, the tunes he writes, and I like when I'm home by myself. Actually, I listen to either classical or jazz.
Yeah. What's your favorite classical piece?
Oh, I don't have one.
You don't have
not a favorite.
I'm a mad Stevie Wonder fan. Could you give me that Stevie Wonder record about his little baby, which is...
Well, play,
what was it called?
It's Lovely.
Yeah.
Play that, or play Sir Duke, or
Yes.
I Wish, or something.
Yeah. All right, we'll get something.
Those are great.
He's one of the greatest.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
He never stops putting out the hits, you know. Everything, he's so consistent. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. Him and Barbara Streisand.
Have you seen The Star Is Born yet?
Mm-hmm.
Good?
I saw it. Yeah, it was fine, yeah.
I haven't.
I tell you what you got to see when you get to Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard of it yet?
I'm a mad movie buff.
It's a monster movie. It's Star Wars, a science fiction film with Alec Guinness, and
Yeah?
it's brilliant, just brilliant. It'll be here. It'll be here soon, yeah.
How long does it take, for Rocky? Will Rocky be released in Australia soon?
Rocky's here now.
Oh, it is?
In Perth, yeah. It's here now.
It just arrived.
No, it's a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. doing fairly good business.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
It's for guys and gals. It's not just for, for the fellas to go and see because it's about a fighter.
Right.
Very emotional love story, and it's really sensitive.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, actually, and also the one I mentioned before, David, The Enforcer, a Clint Eastwood movie, a Dirty Harry type thing, which is plenty of action and bang bangs and...
Yeah, you like that.
We're talking to Micky Dolenz and Davy Jones, the Monkees.
That's wrong.
Monkees begin. How does it all start? I know the Beatles, the Americans wanted to get a Beatles type thing in America.
Right.
Right?
Using the same format as A Hard Day's Night, which the Beatles did. They took more or less that particular format of the fast cutting and the running and the slapstick sort of stuff that people like the Marx Brothers and the Three Stooges used to do, and they put it on TV every week. And where usually a rock and roll act, such as the Monkees, would have to go onto a TV show, a record TV show like the Dick Clark American Bandstand or what other things that you, I'm sure, have here in Perth. Shows, that kids go on and sing their rock and roll hits. We didn't have to do that because we had our own TV show. And Screen Gems put the idea together. All they needed to do was find 4 fellas.
So basically you were hired as actors, Dave.
Right. Basically, Micky and I were supposedly the actors in the group, and Mike and Peter were the musicians, and we ended up to be musicians, and they ended up to be actors. So they wanted 4 fellas that were different in every way. If we had our heads in the sand and our
tails in the air.
Yes, they'd know who it was, So that was what they got, and that's why they got Mike and Peter and Micky and myself. And I think it worked out pretty well. We was talking about length of time. It was it took about 8 months to get it all together. We started in late '65, and we went on the air in America in September of '66. And our first record, which was Last Train to Clarksville, the week that the TV show went on the air, was #1. And they were always talking, well, was it the TV show or was it the record?
Yeah.
And thanks to Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, who wrote Last Train to Clarksville, we had a hit record simultaneously as the TV show went on. And with all the power of television, you can reach so many people.
Yes.
And with the power of Screen Gems Columbia Pictures, who are a very big company in the States, they have branches in every major city. They own radio stations, they own TV stations. They put $1 million worth of publicity in, and from there we took it, and we did 200 live concerts with just the 4 of us on the stage, and we recorded over, I think, 300 tunes. We had to put 2 tunes in each TV show, and so we had lots and lots of Monkees songs that were never even put onto record. I think we ended up with about 8 gold singles and 6 gold albums. We outsold the Beatles at one point, and we still hold the record for the longest running album on the American charts, which was More of the Monkees.
Yes.
I think Carole King came close with a Tapestry album, but at one point, I'm not sure, I haven't counted it up, but I think up until about 1970 we'd sold about 60 million albums. And so that's a lot of records, and with that kind of exposure, it's now turning into we have a new generation of interest, from our fans and friends, and it looks like we might be all getting together once again, as Micky was saying, to make an album and maybe, hopefully, some appearances. I love to do the personal appearances.
The Monkees, the television show, and also the group split up. Did you miss it at all, Davy?
Well, Micky was saying that he was exhausted and he's kind of tired. I didn't stop. I kept going. I went out as a solo artist. I performed in Japan and in England and Ireland, traveled around. And it wasn't new to him, the television scene. He had his own series in Circus Boy. Yeah. But I wanted just to keep going. My background was from the theater, and I hadn't never, ever stood on the stage on my own and performed. And so I tried that, and over these last years I've been doing it. And it's only this last couple of years that Mick and I have gotten together, and now we have our own acts, and hopefully we'll be able to come and perform here in Perth.
I'm sorry, how did you get from England to America? I know you must have flown over by ship or something, but how did that do?
England.
I'm sorry, what was that mean?
Turned left at Greenland.
I was in a show called Oliver. I was the Artful Dodger, and I came over to America in 1961 to Broadway, and I spent 3 years on Broadway playing the part of the Artful Dodger, and that was how I got there. I've done a couple of theatrical shows. I did a show called Pickwick.
Yes.
I've done some plays. I did a Peter Nichols play in England, Forget Me Not Lane. And in fact, Mick and I are going to, after we finish in Reno and Miami Beach, where we're going next week, we're going to Sacramento to do our first legitimate play together, Tom Sawyer. Mickey's going to be Huckleberry Finn.
Tom, he's going to be Becky Thatcher.
And it's funny because this was the first play that I ever did in school. And so for me, it's I've come a whole cycle. And we're going home to England, and I'm taking the script with me, show my sisters, and say, look, it's starting all over again. So maybe, I don't know, I'll be back again. You never know.
We're talking to Davy Jones, Micky DeLenz. We get on very well. Do you have any blues at all, Micky?
No, we hate each other.
Yeah.
Little.
I don't believe that at all. You know.
We get on. It's tough. It's better now there's two. It was tougher when there was four.
Wasn't it? Who was the main instigator with arguments and, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go there?
I think we all had our moments.
Yeah.
You know, we were working under a lot of pressure, and things get a little tense sometimes. So there were a couple of blows thrown and a couple of stitches, you know, things like that.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, I had a couple of 7 stitches in my eye once. I think it was Peter Tork who slugged me, but I forgive him because actually I put 4 in his eye. Or something like that. But anyway, it gets a little tense sometimes. But
I used to carry a gun. They didn't mess with me.
I think love wins in the end, you know. So,
what age were you when it all began? In 67? 2021.
I was 20. I remember I couldn't buy a beer. I was the only one. And I remember when I got my ID. It was the 30th of December. It was my birthday. I was flying on a plane from someplace. And I was really insulted. She asked me for my ID.
Yeah.
And it's only just recently nobody's asking me anymore. So
You look terrible, that's why.
I must be a little low.
So old.
What age are you now, Dave?
I'm 23. 22.
You'll never see 40 again.
How about you, Micky?
I'm 32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're getting married next Friday
Yeah.
in London. Any particular reason why in London?
Not London, actually. It's just outside of London. It's near Cambridge. Just because my fiance's parents live there, and she's had a dream to get married in this little church in the countryside for years and years, so we're going to go there. We went there a few months ago, and I saw the place. Boy, it smelled.
Oh, come on.
It did. She told me. She even reminded me about
What smells? The church?
it. Of old. Smell like very old. You know how you walk into a very old place?
Yes.
Well, this was old. I mean, this was very old. So we're going to get married there.
And are you going to have a peg on your nose?
Yeah, probably.
And shoot gas masks at the door.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful little church out in the countryside.
Yes. And who is going to be your best man?
Davy.
Davy?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's the best man. He's getting the girl.
Yeah, right.
Standing around.
I don't know why they call it the best man, the guy that's standing next to the...
And where are you going for your honeymoon?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have much time. We're having a honeymoon now, as a matter of fact, kind of a pre-honeymoon.
Oh, that's nice.
A moony hun, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, good one.
Here in Australia, because right after
And your fiancé asked me, what can I do this afternoon? You know, that's ridiculous.
Same as you do every afternoon.
All right. We're talking to Micky DeLenz and Davy Jones.
Oh, yeah. I thought... Oh, no, school, of course, is not out, because it's summertime where we come from.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Get on a little bit
Well, we're
closer.
thankful that they're here, and they're giving us a lot of friendships, so that's...
They certainly have.
Makes us feel good.
Micky, you did Circus Boy.
Mm-hmm.
What age were you then?
10.
10. And had you always been in the acting profession?
No, that was the first thing I'd really done professionally. My parents were in the business.
Their names?
Mr. and Mrs. Dolenz. My father was an actor named George Dolenz. He did The Count of Monte Cristo and some movies in the 40s and 50s.
Yes.
My mother had been a singer before she married. And so I came into the business very naturally.
Right. And who was the gentleman in Circus Boy, the main star? Who was that guy?
My uncle or the owner of the circus?
The owner, I think.
Robert Lowry?
No,
The Kim champion? Noah Berry Jr.?
Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking.
My
of.
Uncle Joy.
And is he still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He does the Rockford Files with Jim Garner now.
You know the Rockford Files?
Yeah, I do, but we haven't got them here in Perth yet. It's a good series, I believe.
How many TV stations are there in Perth?
There's 2 commercial and 1 at ABC.
What does that mean?
3 altogether.
Is that the government, the ABC?
That's it, yes.
And they have educational programs?
Yes,
things like that?
yeah, and
Public
what's
affairs?
that kids program? Sesame Street, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
From America?
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's great. It's good for the kids.
Oh, they love it.
Really?
And then also for the adults, too.
Great way of learning, isn't it?
Great program. Hang on a second. The way that you say "I love you" in not to
You mean last night? When we were together?
No.
When was that?
Theme for New Love when you do that
Oh, yeah?
song.
That's those talking records. You know, it's very funny because every few years there comes along a talkie record. Do you remember that one that Charles Boyer had?
Yes.
The Day We Fall in Love or something like that. I love it. I'm a romantic.
And the Charles Aznavour songs too.
The old Charles Aznavour to me is one of the greatest. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, sensitive things. I'm a very, very sensitive person.
Well, we're going to play this sensitive song, Theme for New Love.
Oh, yeah?
Davy Jones, Hamilton.
You're always such fun. You're all of my dreams rolled into one. When there comes an living.
Mickey!
And a bit of black magic.
Davy.
Inside of you.
It's not me doing it. Someone's going to get a black eye then, I can tell.
You're so soft to my touch. And our love is so new. How can I tell you how much I love you? You're the raindrops that fall and refresh everything. For when I am with you, it is eternally spring. I love you. I love you. I love you.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's because you're not into love like I'm into love.
Hey, that's nice. Right, Mickey, you sit here. You can run the panel now.
Take over?
Yeah. You can.
All right, we used to do this. We used to come in and take over radio stations.
Right, that's you like. Sit down there. They're the next commercials. Will you play those now?
Hi, it's the Crazy Micky the Nolan Show on 6 p.m. Hi, this is the Crazy Micky the Nolan Show sitting in here for Yorkie on 6 p.m. radio. Yes, we're having a wonderful day here. Kids, there's all kinds of kids outside. Hi, kids, how are you? Can you hear them out there? Oh, we're really having a wonderful time. Where'd Davy Jones go? Oh, he's still there. Oh, this is the Yorkie Show.
Okay, hi.
Micky Dolan's on the Yorkie Show. Bye. That was the girl in the switch room. Isn't this wonderful? The miracle of modern science. Gave you the wrong one, man. I noticed that. And is she still on the phone?
She's hanging on there. Get someone else. It's 19 minutes. Do a time check.
Do a time check. It's 19 minutes before 12.
Right?
And it's 75 degrees above the melting point of lead. And here's Stevie Wonder. Right outside. All right, everything is A-OK at 6 p.m. in the A.M. at P.M. How's that, Yorkie? How you doing there? We got someone on the phone right now. Her name is Christine. Are you there, Christine?
Here.
Hi, how are you? This is Crazy Micky the D on the Yorkie Show at 6 p.m.
What's wrong with you?
Wait a minute, Christine. We're just playing a little, this is called a jingle for the station.
Jingle, that
Okay, you there? Hello?
Hello.
Christine?
Over here.
Hi, this is Micky Dolan. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wilson.
I have no idea where that is.
Oh, no, I don't get that for a moment.
I have no idea. No, are you inside Perth here? In the city? Right in the middle?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you have a request, right?
Pardon?
You have a request, right?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
And what is that?
If by bread.
If by bread, well, what do you know? It just so happens that we have that very record. How do you like it? Incredible, David Drake. And this is the incredible Micky Dolan. With Bob Ring, dial 211-111. That's right, at 6 p.m. at Tip Line. Call now with Bob Stewart. Ring 211-111. Here on the Yorkie Show. And in our studios right now, we have the fantastic personality, David T. Jones. How are you, Davey?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm feeling real good.
David, I got a question to ask you. I'm sure all of your fans out there would love to know,
What kind of girl do you like best? Could you describe her for us?
Yeah, I like a girl that wears a dress and that likes boys. Because I am
For
a
starters.
boy. I'm a boy, you know?
Yes, we've noticed that, Davy.
Yeah.
There was a question at one time, but I know that you did go to the hospital and you had all the checks, and yes, it is true, David Jones is a boy.
It was nothing to do with that record that we played earlier called Theme for a New Love, was it, that I'm at question? You know, I was only 16 years old when we did that. That's why my voice is much higher.
Well, that was a long time ago. I didn't know they had recording studios.
No, I'll tell you, it's funny. People ask us about the Monkey records. Well, we used to record most of those original hits that we had. We used to do them on 4-track. And now, if anyone knows anything about recording, they have like 32 tracks, 64 tracks. So there's a lot more that can be done in the studio now. Mick and I haven't been in for a long time, but we hope to get in the studio this year with Mike Nesmith and Peter Tork and maybe put out a new album. We have one right now, I think, that's doing well, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Great Golden Hits of the Monkeys.
You took over a studio in Los Angeles, didn't you, when you were doing your monkey show?
Yeah.
On television. I saw that thing. Have you taken over many studios before?
Yes.
Yes, we usually tie up the
Burn a couple
DJs and really so you better watch out.
You're getting away easy.
All we're doing is taking over your mics here.
Yeah, usually we tie them up and thrash them severely around the head and body.
Yes, I bet you've never heard what it sounds like to cue a record. Well, I'm going to do it for you right now, just as soon as I get it. Just a second here. Hey, just put it down there. Where did it go? It's gone. It don't stop cueing anymore. What did you do to my turntable, dummy? Wait a second here. Just kidding. Okay. Now it should cue.
No, you'll have to do it like that. There you go.
You know, this 6 p.m. used to be the number one.
What did you do? You're not cueing the record. What happened to the record? Why is it...
Oh, you like that.
Her name was Joanne, and she lived in a meadow by All right. Oh, my says we're playing Joanne here on Country Music Hour at 6 p.m. Micky Dolenz and Davy Jones over there. Say goodbye, Davy.
Goodbye, Davy.
No, say goodbye, Davy.
Goodbye, Davy.
All right. It was really nice being here, taking over the Yorkie Show. We really appreciate it. We're going to leave you with this little tune that Davy did a long time ago called The Unbeliever, written by the fantastic John Stewart. And goodbye first. The wing of the bluebird has to sing to fix the clock along with Lavanda, homecoming queen. Yeah, here I'm sleeping. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and
That's the Monkeys, and the studio will never seem the same. Micky Dolenz took over the last half.
One of the things when I play with Gulliver's Travels, you can relate it on many different levels. It's the demographic appeal, as we say in the biz. The kids will love it, though it's not pantomime in the traditional sense. And the adults will love it, and the middle people will love it. I think there are a tremendous universal appeal. It was very successful last year with Wayne Street at the Royal Ballet. He did a beloved impression of it, and David and I are doing our own version, I suppose. It's a very technical show. It has a lot of effects and special effects and lighting and little surprises that I can't tell you about. You'll have to come and see. And it's about a boy named Oblio who has a little dog named Arrow, who is a puppet production, who lives in the land of Point. But he doesn't have a point.
Everybody has a point.
Everybody has a point except Oblio. Nobody knows why he doesn't have a point. And so he is banished to the pointless forest. In fact, I'm the one that banishes him. I'm the evil Count Kid. And I banish Oblio to the pointless forest. Little quack. More or less like that. And Oblio goes to the pointless forest where he meets all kinds of strange characters. The appointed men, and the balloon ladies, and the bird, and the leaf man who manufactures all the leaves for all the forests in the world. And I follow him as the Count's kid into the pointless forest to make sure that he doesn't return. And, however, all of my attempts to thwart his return are bungled, usually by myself, and I receive all of the damage myself. It's like a cartoon. And at the end of the pointless forest, I beg Oblio to help me to get me out of the forest. And because I'm crappy enough, I've got to get out of this place. And he says, well, you should have come to the place. He doesn't know that I was in the pointless forest trying to mess him up all the time. So he says, well, you should have come to the pointless forest. I had a wonderful time. And I said, oh, lovely. Wait a minute. Why are you being so nice to me? Even I don't like me. And my daddy hates me. And he says, well, that's true. But I like you. You do? He says, yeah, well, not a lot. But anyway, come on, let's go home. And at that point, we burst into song, and it's called Gotta Get Up.
Why, remarkable coincidence. That's what we have on the program.
Yes. Well, why don't we play?
The little preview.
Let's do the show right here.
Why not?
That's the dance step, folks.
We're playing Mr. Julie Ryder, 31 Rue, Saint-André des Arts, Paris 75006. Please visit send greetings to my parents, Ina and Alex Ryder, 23 Claremont Road in Grimsby, South Underside, from daughter Julie. I've been working in Paris for 6 months, and this is my first Christmas away from home. Please tell them I miss them very much, and I'll be thinking about it.
Gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get home for the morning.
Micky Valens and Davy Jones with Gotta Get Up.
Yes, available on MCA Records and Tapes at your local record store. Order now. Records will be available after Christmas.
Lovely, and that's the whole album of the point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not the whole album. That's one song.
The whole album is available.
Yeah, it is. I think we set a record, in fact. I'm going to call up Guinness, as a matter of fact. I just decided. And see if I can get an entry in their new world record book. We recorded that album, recorded 14 tracks, sung all the 14 leads, did the background vocals, the sweetening, and the mixing within 36 hours.
That must
and I
be
think that may be a record
for
for a pop album.
A record for a record.
A record for a record, and that's very good.
Mick, it's been a pleasure to see you again, and thank you very much indeed for coming. And we wish you and the whole cast, Davy and everybody, every success with The Point, which opens tomorrow at the Mermaid Theatre.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Beauty show here in London. Oh, I was good. That was to do theater. There's a big show for me. I haven't had nearly the experience that David had on the stage, so it's kind of a new little challenge for me. I've mostly done television. It was very close to the newspaper, David, so that we going to add extra matter to last year's production of The Mermaid. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know. I've seen the way it goes down. The muscle that I don't know, has got things down for years. It's got a lot of muscle. I used to really faster too down. But I think maybe a different kind of energy they were talking about, a new interpretation of the past. Something we don't like to recreate anything that's been done before, but to me, it's different because I'm doing it.
You know, your production was not necessarily a ballet performance, and there was an original this Cronenberg, Broadway, kind of comedy roles. So mentioned singing, you mentioned dancing. So let's try that. What is the point?
It's a story about a little town called Oblio, it's a private outside, that lives in a land called the Land of Point. So everybody has one, except the Oblio.
But all I'm going to tell you, you have to come to the show to figure that out.
Yes, this is the evil count's son, and this evil count, and take it advantage of the kings who've got niceness like Milton supposed to have. And they get together and they banish me to the Pointless Forest, and I get sent to the Pointless Forest, and I finally come back, and I come back and tell them all that it's not pointless at all. In fact, that is another point. Now, Mickey has to come to the forest with me. He didn't realize this when he's getting me banished, but he does his make sure every day, and he does the wrong things and makes sure he doesn't come back. And so we have a few little bits
It's very much a family page, then. Well, I think you're a Gulliver's Travels, if you know what I mean.
I don't guys like that, too.
Yeah, the Gulliver's Travels is a very famous classic story that can be interpreted many ways. The original story is a political satire, if you remember, for intellectuals, but it's become a very famous kid story because in the surface it's an adventure. And the point is like that, like Alice in Wonderland, which is also a social, intellectual, political comment, but also a children's story. And the point is in the same genre as
Hey, what is it? Hey, that's a nice button. What does it say? Love is the ultimate trip. Oh, that's a groovy thought. That's a nice button. What does it say? Says it takes us... Oh, did it say it? Oh, God. Let's go again. Don't now. Now, really, everybody cool it, because I won't be able to get through this.